Checking in? Tiana asked, her tone flat, like she was already done with the conversation. Yes. Amara said, her voice smooth, polite, but firm. Under Ellis, Amara. Tiana's fingers danced across the keys, then stopped. Her brow furrowed, lips pursing. I don't see a reservation under that name. That's fine, Amara said, unfazed. There's a penthouse suite held for me. Owner's block. Tiana's eyes narrowed, a skeptical smirk tugging at her lips. Ma'am, we're fully booked. This hotel's for confirmed guests only. The ma'am carried a sting, like Amara was some lost tourist, not the woman whose name was etched into buildings' deeds. That Amara's smile didn't falter, but the air thickened, a silent storm brewing. She glanced past Tiana to the polished brass plaque behind the desk. Vanguard Luxe, an Ellis property. Her legacy wasn't just a reservation. It was a foundation under their feet. I am a guest, she said, her voice low, cutting like a blade wrapped in velvet. And I own this hotel. Before we dive into this story, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more inspirational true stories like this. The Lincoln night pressed against Amara Ellis like a damp towel, thick with Nebraska summer heat and the pulse of Cass Street. Car horns blending with bar chatter, a distant train whistle cutting through the dusk. At 48, Amara stepped through the revolving glass doors of the Vanguard Luxe Hotel, her hotel, with the quiet grip of a woman who clawed her way from Chicago's South Side to a corner office. No entourage, no flashy labels, just a tailored charcoal blazer, pressed slacks, and scuffed loafers that whispered across the marble floor. Her canvas duffel, slung over one shoulder, carried the weight of a long day, not a CEO's ego. All she wanted was a key, a warm bed, and a moment to breathe before a board meeting she hadn't planned to attend in person. But the Vanguard Luxe, a gleaming testament to her vision, had other plans. The lobby was alive. Guests in golf polos sipping overpriced lattes, a pianist tinkling jazz in the corner, chandeliers casting golden light across polished floors. Amara's presence barely rippled the scene. She approached the front desk, where a young receptionist, Tiana Brooks, popped bubblegum, her neon orange acrylics clacking on the keyboard. Tiana's eyes flicked up, offering a smile that said you're about to be turned away. Checking in? Tiana asked, her tone flat, like she was already done with the conversation. Yes. Amara said, her voice smooth, polite, but firm. Under Ellis, Amara. Tiana's fingers danced across the keys, then stopped, her brow furrowed, lips pursing. I don't see a reservation under that name. That's fine, Amara said, unfazed. There's a penthouse suite held for me. Owner's block. Tiana's eyes narrowed, a skeptical smirk tugging at her lips. Ma'am, we're fully booked. This hotel's for confirmed guests only. The ma'am carried a sting, like Amara was some lost tourist, not the woman whose name was etched into the building's deeds. Amara's smile didn't falter, but the air thickened, a silent storm brewing. She glanced past Tiana to the polished brass plaque behind the desk. Vanguard Luxe, an Ellis property. Her legacy wasn't just a reservation. It was the foundation under their feet. I am a guest, she said, her voice low, cutting like a blade wrapped in velvet. And I own this hotel. Tiana blinked, then let out a laugh, sharp and disbelieving, like Amara had claimed to be a time traveler. You own the Vanguard? She reached for the desk phone, her smirk growing. I'm calling the manager. Go ahead, Amara said, her calm a wall no one could crack. Across the lobby, heads turned. A couple in preppy gear whispered over their cocktails. A businessman by the fireplace lowered his tablet, eavesdropping. Amara felt a familiar weight. The assumption she was lying, the unspoken she doesn't fit here. It wasn't new, but it burned. A quiet fire in her chest. A lanky man with a crooked tie and a clipboard shuffled out from a side door, his badge reading Evan Caldwell, assistant manager. He sized Amara up, his smile forced, not reaching his eyes. Evening. Trouble with your reservation? She claims she owns a hotel, Tiana said, loud enough for the lobby to hear, her tone dripping with doubt. Evan hesitated, adjusting his glasses. Right. Ms. Ellis, is it? Let me verify that. Amara's gaze locked on his. I don't claim. I do. Amara Ellis. My name's on every quarterly report, every board memo. There's a suite in the owner's block. Find it. Evan muttered into his walkie, his cheer fading fast. One moment, please. Then security appeared, not aggressive, but pointed. One guard stationed himself by the elevators, another near the coffee bar. Their postures screaming we're watching. Amara didn't flinch, but the fire in her chest flared. Not because they didn't know her face, but because they assumed she couldn't belong. Again, she could have flashed her ID, pulled up emails, or shown photos in a ribbon cutting 7 years ago, her standing with city officials as the Vanguard opened its doors. Instead, she stepped back, pulled out her phone, and made one call. 26 seconds, no raised voice, just, "Lila, I'm at the Vanguard Luxe in Lincoln. They've denied me access to my property. Fix it, now." She hung up and leaned against a marble pillar, her duffel at her feet. The lobby buzzed. Guests whispering. A woman by the window nudged her friend. A guy with a laptop pretending to type. Tiana kept clicking away, as if the screen might rewrite reality. Amara caught her sneaking a glance at her phone, probably Googling Amara Ellis. It would have been hilarious if it wasn't so damn predictable. Her mind flashed to Cincinnati 20 years back. She was 28, a new VP in a borrowed suit, feet blistered from cheap heels. Security had shadowed her through a hotel lobby, assuming she was trouble until the CFO vouched for her. Now, at 48, with 17 properties from Chicago to Albuquerque, she was still proving her place in her own building. The irony was a knife. Twisting slowed, Amara's journey to this moment wasn't a straight line. Born in Chicago's Englewood neighborhood, she'd grown up in a cramped apartment, the youngest of 3, raised by a single mom who worked double shifts as a nurse. School was her escape, math club, debate team, anything to keep her mind sharp. She landed a receptionist job at a Cincinnati hotel at 22, dodging patronizing sweetie comments and mopping up spills when the cleaning crew called out. By 25, she was night auditor, catching errors a day shift missed, her knack for numbers earning her a grudging nod from a boss who'd once said she talked too educated for the front desk at 8:30. She pitched her first hotel concept to a St. Louis bank, her voice steady despite their skeptical glares. They offered brutal loan terms, daring her to fail. She didn't. Her first property, a boutique hotel in Chicago, broke even in 18 months. By 40, she built Vanguard Luxe into a brand. 17 properties, each designed with intention. Luxury that welcomed, service that saw people, not stereotypes. Every grand opening was a middle finger to the doubters who told her she'd never make it. Yet here she was, in her own hotel, facing the same old assumptions. The lobby's polished surfaces mocked her, reflecting a world that still saw her as less than her title. She didn't pace or sigh. She stood, calm as stone, letting the staff stew in their own discomfort. The elevator dinged, slicing to the lobby's hum. 2 men strode out, Damon Hayes, regional VP, in a tailored Navy suit, and Mateo Vargas, district manager, in a company polo, both radiating panic. Damon spotted Amara and moved fast, bypassing Evan. "Ms. Ellis, I'm so sorry." Lila called. "This is unacceptable." Mateo, clutching a tablet, was breathless. "Suite 1200's cleared. Your driver's set for morning. Fruit tray, espresso order, already in place." Amara's lips curved into a faint smile, not warm, but sharp. She wasn't here for apologies. She wanted to see how they'd scramble now that they knew. "Thank you," she said, her voice cool, eyes scanning their shifting postures. Power had walked in, and she was clocking every twitch. Damon pulled Evan aside, his voice a low growl about HR violations. Mateo was on the phone, barking orders for an audit. The tension that had pinned Amara now ricocheted through the staff like a stray bullet. Tiana's gum-popping stopped, her face paling as she realized her error. Evan was sweating through his tie, his clipboard useless. Amara stepped to the desk, placing her phone on the counter with deliberate calm. "I'll take the 12th floor suite. Standard setup. Send someone to confirm it's clean." Tiana opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Amara didn't wait for her to try. "Am I checked in?" she asked Damon. "Just done," he said, flipping his tablet. 2 key cards, Instant report by the time you're upstairs. Good, Amara said. And the rest? Site-wide notifications out, Mateo said. Corporate audit teams on standby. Staff recertification on guest protocol starts tonight. Disciplinary actions are in motion. Amara's eyes flicked at Anna, who was biting her cheek, her acrylics tapping nervously. You'll speak to her, Amara said to Damon, privately with HR present. Yes, ma'am, Damon said. Clearing his throat, Amara took the key cards, nodded once, and headed for the elevator. Heads turned, whispers trailed, but no one dared approach. As the doors closed, she saw Evan standing stiff, unraveling under the weight of his mistake. The 12th floor suite smelled of cedar and lavender, the fruit tray neatly arranged, espresso pods stacked beside a sleek machine. A handwritten note with AE sat on the table, rushed but earnest. Amara paced the room, not just checking for dust, but for intent, for proof her vision still lived here. This hotel wasn't just a business. It was her story, built from years of grit, late nights, and doors slammed in her face. She sank onto the edge of bed, her duffel at her feet. Her phone buzzed. Lila Morgan, her assistant, confirming the corporate response and offering a media statement. Amara declined. She could have tweeted this, gone viral in an hour, but that wasn't her play. This was about respect, not rage, and how it was too often tied to assumptions, not reality. Her mind drifted to St. Louis, 15 years ago. She'd stood in a bank's conference room, 33, pitching her vision to a panel of white men who barely looked at her. One had asked, "You sure you can handle this?" She'd smiled, said yes, and walked away with a loan that nearly choked her with interest. She paid it off in 3 years, opened her second hotel, then her third. Each property was a brick in her empire, a promise to herself. No one will make me small again. Yet here she was, still proving it. A knock interrupted. A room service kid with fresh espresso, a kitchen manager's apology note, and an offer for a free massage. Amara thanked him, closed the door, and sipped the coffee, staring out at Lincoln's skyline. The city lights flickered, a reminder of how far she'd come, and how much further she had to go to 86 a.m. Amara descended the elevator, no longer a guest but the CEO. Her navy suit was crisp, her silk blouse a stark white, her heels clicking with purpose. The lobby stirred. Staff froze, guests paused mid-sip. The barista fumbled a latte. Damon and Mateo waited by the fireplace, clutching coffees they hadn't touched, folders stacked like shields. They looked like men who'd spent the night rewriting their career plans. But before the scheduled meeting, Amara noticed a woman in a maintenance jumpsuit near the concierge desk, polishing a brass railing. Her name tag-read Rhea. She caught Amara's eye, not with fear but a knowing smirk. "Heard about last night," Rhea said, her voice low, rough from years of early shifts. "You shook this place up. Good." Amara paused, intrigued. "You saw." "Everybody's talking," Rhea said, leaning on her cart. Tiana shook. "Evan's drowning in his own sweat. You walked in like you owned the place. 'Cause you do, and they didn't see it. Happens to me every day." "You work here long?" Amara asked. 12 years, Rhea said. "Maintenance. Nobody notices us unless something breaks. But I notice everything. Saw how they treated you. Same shit I get when I step out of this jumpsuit and into a nice dress. You handled it smoother than I would've." Amara's lips twitched. "Just wanted a room." Rhea snorted. "Yeah, and I just want a raise. Look, you need eyes in this place. I'm your girl. Staff gossips better than any security cam." The unexpected ally sparked something in Amara. A reminder that power wasn't just in titles, but in the unseen, like Rhea, who saw the world from the margins. "I'll keep that in mind," Amara said, slipping Rhea her card. "Call me if this place slips again." Rhea pocketed it with a grin. "Bet." In the executive conference room, Evan, Tiana, and Selena from corporate sat like statues. Amara stood at the table's head, arms folded, letting the silence choke them. "Explain last night," she said, her voice a quiet blade. Tiana stared at her lap, mumbling, "I didn't think you didn't look like the owner?" Amara cut in, calm but sharp. "Was I rude?" Tiana shook her head. No, yo. Threaten anyone. No, Tiana whispered, her voice barely there. Amara turned to Selena. I don't want heads on pikes, but I need accountability. Selena nodded. Understood. Mateo jumped in. Formal write-up for Tiana. Off front desk until recertified. Evans on administrative review, pending interviews. Amara sat, her gaze pinning Tiana. How long you been here? 5 months, Tiana said, eyes down. Ever think about who built this place? Amara asked. Tiana hesitated. Thought it was some corporate board investors. Amara let that sit. Heavy. 17 properties, Chicago to Albuquerque. I built them for accessibility, for humanity. I started this brand because I was tired of being a shadow. So why, in my own lobby, am I invisible? Tiana shrank. Evan's face burned red. Damon said, memos out, mandatory inclusivity training, no exceptions. Make it real, Amara said, not just check boxes. I want people understanding what respect looks like when they think nobody's watching. Mateo nodded. We'll make it stick. Later, Amara found Tiana in the staff lounge, picking at a bagel, her phone face down. Amara pulled up a chair. Relax, she said as Tiana jolted. This isn't a trial. Tiana nodded, eyes wary. The hum of the vending machine filled the silence. Ever feel small at work? Amara asked, her tone soft but direct. Tiana blinked, then nodded. Yeah, worked at a gas station diner off I-80. Paper hat, greasy apron, customers yelling, never tipping. Felt like a ghost. So you know invisibility, Amara said. Then why'd you look at me last night and decide I didn't belong? Tiana's voice cracked. I didn't mean you didn't look like a CEO. Amara cut in, not harsh, just tired. What's that look like? Suit? Tie? White? Male? Tiana had no answer. That's the problem, Amara said. People carry a picture. Clean cut, old, rich. Not me. That picture shapes who you respect, who you dismiss. I'm sorry, Tiana said raw. I mean it. It's a start, Amara said. But I'm here so you see me, as a person, not a system. A boss. I was you once. Receptionist in Cincinnati, mistaken for a maid, called Honey while running the desk. Every time I chose fight or let it go, I built these hotels so people like you could grow. So why'd you shrink me? Tiana's eyes widened. You really started at the desk? Yup, Amara said, a half smile. Boss said I sounded too smart for phones. Stuck me on night audit. That's where it began. Tiana almost laughed. That's crazy. Shouldn't be, Amara said. I don't need perfection, but I need you awake. Every guest, young, old, fancy or not, deserves dignity. Start there, and you won't have to clean up messes like last night. Tiana stood as Amara did, her voice soft. Thank you for talking. Amara nodded and left, feeling lighter, like the message had landed where it needed to. As Amara crossed the lobby to the management office, she noticed Jasper, the veteran doorman, holding the glass doors for a guest. His gray hair peeked from under his cap, his eyes sharp despite decades on the job. He gave her a nod, not deferential but knowing. Heard you stirred the pot last night, he said, his voice gravelly. About time someone did. Amara paused, intrigued. You've seen this before? Every damn day, Jasper said, leaning against the doorframe. Been here 15 years. Seen managers come and go. Guests act like kings. Staff like Tiana assume they know who's who. You walked in quiet, no flash. They didn't see you 'cause they weren't looking. You saw me, Amara said, curious. I see everybody, Jasper said, a wry grin. Folks like us, black, working-class roots. We learn to see what others miss. You're not invisible to me, Ms. Ellis. Never were. The words hit harder than Amara expected. A reminder of the allies who'd always been there, watching from the edges. Keep seeing, she said, slipping him her card. Let me know what I'm missing. Jasper pocketed it with a salute. Always do. By mid-morning, the Vanguard Luxe hummed. guests dragging suitcases, coffee cups clinking, a family asking about the zoo. But in the management office, change simmered. Damon stood by the window, watching the valet shuffle cars. Mateo typed furiously, drafting a memo. Selena reviewed training modules, her pen moving like a scalpel. Amara scanned personnel files, her focus surgical. "I'm not here to punish," she said. "I'm here to stop this happening again." Mateo looked up. "We're revamping hiring, empathy tests, bias checks, the works." "Good," Amara said, "and put me on rotation. Next quarter, I'll show up unannounced at random properties. Not secret, just quiet until I'm not." Damon grinned. "That'll keep folks on their toes." "Let him sweat," Amara said. "Real work doesn't come with a heads up." She left the office, pausing at the desk where a new agent nodded respectfully, his eyes showing he knew who she was. The lobby felt different, cracks and old habits forming. Change started small, not with fanfare but with moments like these. Upstairs, her suite was pristine, her bag packed, and a note waited on the nightstand. "Ms. Ellis, thank you for your grace. I'll do better. Tiana." Simple, handwritten, real. Amara tucked it into her purse. Next to Ria's and Jasper's cards had a Esser car pulled away from a Vanguard. Amara didn't look back. She left behind a way to being misjudged, replaced by something stronger. Understanding, discomfort, growth. Her message wasn't for the hotel. It was for anyone who'd ever had to prove their worth at the airport, amid the chaos of check-ins and PA announcements. Amara moved quietly, her chest lighter. She'd turn a moment of dismissal into a mirror for the staff to see themselves. She hoped Tiana would grow. Evan would learn, Damon and Mateo would deliver. If not, she'd stand tall, she always had. Dignity wasn't given. It was hers, unyielding. To anyone who'd been doubted or dismissed, Amara's message was clear. You don't need to shout to be heard. Know your worth, walk like it, and make them remember. If you love this story, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more inspirational stories and folk tales like this. Also leave a comment and let me know how this story has inspired you or what lessons you've learned.